Of 6 p.m. This right here is Uptown Living with your favorite letter Q. For those of you who don't know me, please allow me to introduce myself. Ikamalango Tobacco Kayade Dum. Yakwasinanga better now as your favorite letter. Cubesicles be Qs, or follow me on Twitter. Talking about, if you haven't already, do make sure that you follow us on Twitter. It's at Madibaz Radio. That's Madibaz with a Z. It's about the exact same way on our page on Facebook. Okay, it's about that time where we talk about, things that, just really got us emotional this past week. Being education, of course. In studio, though, I'm not alone as per usual. I do have a very lovely lady, absolutely gorgeous. She goes by the name of Nozi Qamngana. She is a radio presenter, / external relations manager at Ubuntu Education Foundation. She will be representing South Africa in the upcoming program, or rather conference in Norway. She's going to tell us a little bit about that. Good evening and welcome to Uptown.
Good evening and thank you for having me. Such an introduction.
Wow. You were not expecting that?
No.
Girl, I got you though.
Oh, thanks.
Girl, I got you though. Yeah, thanks for being here. I know that you are very busy.
Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure, really.
So tell me a little bit about your trip. You're going away.
It's exciting. So as you said, I'm the External Relations Manager for Ubuntu Education Fund. We are an NGO based in Sweden. When we explain ourselves, we take children from cradle to career by investing in them, by providing them with every possible opportunity they need to prosper in life. And to us, that's not limiting to anything. So everyone that works for Ubuntu has dedicated their entire lives to change, particularly the children of Port Elizabeth, the most vulnerable, the most orphaned. So we've been around for about 17 years.
Wow.
We were founded in 1999. I'll tell you the story later on, but at this particular conference, we were invited. It's called the Africa in Norway Conference. So there's a particular stereotype that the international community has about Africa, that when we go overseas, they're surprised that we in clothes, or they're surprised that you can speak English. Are you mixed? If you light-skinned, are you mixed? The fact that you have to be dark. And it's all about discussing these challenges, particularly for us in the development sector. What do we do differently? Do we, most organizations still in this day and age, take half-naked pictures of our kids and send them overseas to try and raise money? What do we do differently? What is our approach?
Yeah, which actually leads me to my next question. I wanted to know in particular, what are you ultimately hoping to achieve going to Norway, and obviously representing South Africa, but in particular, Ubuntu?
Yes.
Yes.
So there's three things to me that are very important. The one, obviously, is to present our work as Ubuntu Education Fund, just taking Ubuntu, not even Ubuntu Education Fund in particular, but Ubuntu, the philosophy. Yes, that I am because you are, in a global platform. Secondly, is to create and to let people know about what Africa is. And who we are, because still to this age, as I said, people have this negative stereotype about what Africa stands for. But the third thing that's very important for me, working with children on a daily basis that do not necessarily have opportunities that we are exposed to now, is to let them see that it's not about thinking local anymore. The world is becoming smaller every day, about global, and kind of using my story as an example of someone who grew up in New Brighton and having such opportunities now that, look at me, in this age, impossible is a myth. You can become anything that you want. So those are the three most important things to me at this point.
So I can imagine you were actually educated, or rather funded, by Ubuntu.
Absolutely. Yes.
You are a graduate of?
So I did my national diploma here at MMU, and I did my BTech, and at the moment I'm working towards a BA honors degree in development studies.
Yes, girl.
Yes. So it's quite a funny story. I met Ubuntu when I was still young. At the time they were introducing in-house libraries and computer centers, and my school was one of the beneficiaries. So when I see the children now growing up in front of me and being part of changing their lives, I can see myself in them, that I went for the same route. The only difference is now I get to be part of making a change in their lives. And that saw me through, because of Ubuntu, I became a graduate and the first one in the family through them. I did a corporate stint for about 4 years, one international, but it didn't feel right. I've always been one wanted to be part of change
and giving back.
Absolutely, and it only felt only felt natural that I go back home, and that for me that was a wound.
Oh wow, that's absolutely amazing. I actually have a friend of mine that was also funded.
Yes.
Busi.
Yes.
Shout out to you, girl. I must say, Ubuntu has actually done quite a lot in my perception of what I've seen in you guys.
Yes.
So people that actually don't know about Ubuntu, where can they actually catch?
Well, Ubuntu, we are based in Sweden, up in Bali, and as I said, we've been around for 17 years, and one of the things that allowed me to go back to Ubuntu is to say, listen, we've been around for 17 years, and there's still people who do not know we exist. There are people that still don't know what we do, and looking at the impact, not only in Port Elizabeth, it's felt across the country, because the graduates, remember, that come from here, their impact is felt internationally. So we are based in Sweden, and if anyone is interested,
because in particular, I'm thinking for Umzadi that is listening right now.
Absolutely.
How could they get in touch with you guys?
As I said, we say Sweden number 5 and our number is 041 4092700. If anyone has questions about referrals, about how they can be part of the family, anything, that's where we're at.
Now I can imagine you're very excited. Who are you actually going to be traveling with?
I'm traveling alone. I'm traveling alone. We got the opportunity from a student activist organization based in Oslo, and they approached us because obviously we are in the development sector, and I'll be traveling alone next month, and just hopefully represent every South African voice
the best way we know we can.
Absolutely, and the rest of Africa.
Now obviously we as a country have been going through quite a lot in the past week with the Fees Must Fall. You know very well about this, like many of us that are actually, even me, myself that's hosting this show, knows all too well how it feels to actually be excluded simply because of finances. What is your take so far?
It's quite an interesting movement. I'll be honest that I was one of those people that, when I look at history and when I look at every year when we celebrate June 16, when we celebrate Women's Day, and I see so many years later we're still celebrating the legacy of what was. And I always question myself, I'm like, what are we doing? History? When are we making history? What impact are we having? And one particular thing I was very impressed about is when collectively we were saying the same exact thing about education, the fact that it's not a right, for goodness sake, it's not a privilege, it's a right for people to get educated. What was particularly touching for me as well is that, you see, being in the development sector, I deal with this every single day. It's all great that I get to be a testimony of what is possible through hard work. But when I look at the kids that I work with, and I see the hope in their eyes, but looking at where they come from, their reality, and thinking to myself, the cycle needs to break. And the only way that's going to break is to allow our kids the right to education. That's how I felt.
Unlock their potential.
Absolutely. That shouldn't be, we shouldn't hold them because of where they come from. We shouldn't hold them because there's no academic reference in their families. No, they have a right to education. They should be educated. It's not an opportunity. It's not something that's like a bypass, or if you want to, no, they are going to be educated. So that was very moving for me. And personally as well, where I come from, I always tell a story of, I know exactly what you guys were saying because I come from that. Thank goodness there are organizations such as Ubuntu that assisted me, but I know they're limited to what they can do. That's why we need structures in government, in the private sector, to join together to make sure that every child possible is educated.
You heard it right here. She's going to be with me right up until 7 p.m. this evening. I'm going to play a song for you guys. But yeah, after the break, of course, we'll continue to talk all things education, all things Ubuntu, all things Ubuntu, obviously Education Fund and her trip all the way in the US, rather, the Norway. Yeah, and that's going to be so exciting. I want you to take so many pictures.
No problem.
And bring me a souvenir too.
No problem.
I see you. Okay, so we're going to continue with the music. Hope you guys do enjoy. This is Naughty Boy Running, featuring the likes of Beyonce by Arrow Benjamin. It's called Running. Hope you guys do enjoy.
Jy luister na Madibaz Radio. Ons maak die golwe oop sodat jy gehoor kan word.
26 minutes after the hour of 6 p.m. You are still in tune with me, your favorite letter Q, alongside beautiful lady Nozi. And we talking all things education. If you just joined us, welcome to it. We're coming to you live from South Campus right here at Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in Port Elizabeth. It's all good in the hood, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, baby. And before our musical break, of course, we played some really good jams, by the way, because you know I love my Nigerian music. It was Emmy Alade with Johnny Boy. Yes. Okay, and before that I played for you Beyonce. Running. Absolutely love that song. So we were talking about, of course, the Ubuntu.
Yes.
And you have this trip coming up and that. But I wanted to know all the programs that you actually have available for, the children that actually do form part of
So it's quite funny that we're talking about this, about education earlier. When we first started in 1999, one of our first mission was to get as many township children educated as possible. So we were investing so much educationally, creating in-house libraries and computer centers, making them involved in pen pal programs, extra tutoring and so forth. And it got to a point where all of these things were great. I remember when we had our opening for our computer center, and everyone was happy. And there was this one mama that stood up and said, it's all great that our kids are getting educated, but listen, we also need to realize the fact that they are dying. Their homes are not stable. So as much as education is important, but what are you doing about that? So when you talk about Ubuntu, you talk about a holistic approach when it comes to development and raising a child. We start from education. We have an in-house crèche for 2, 3, 4-year-olds, where we have our after-school program that focuses, on education, but also on extramural activities like debating, public speaking, yoga, those things that they don't necessarily get at school.
And I think that's actually quite important. It's good that you actually said that, a holistic approach.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of the time, as much as you can be book smart and you can be fed all this information from a textbook, the fact of the matter is when you get to university, and I always say it's very hard to bridge the gap between high school into university, because it's a different world. You have presentations where you have to talk in front of people all the time. You have a lot of things to actually learn when you do presentations and how to go about it.
It's a challenge.
It's definitely a challenge. So what's actually your take on bridging the gap between high school and university?
There's quite an interesting story. So I remember when we started our scholarship program, and obviously we wanted everyone to go to university, right? And out of like a dozen of children that went to university, only a handful passed their first year. And we're wondering, hey, we're giving them all that we can, and we're giving them all these opportunities. Surely we can't be doing anything wrong. And we actually forgot that we're taking them, and then look at this context. You're taking a child from a child-headed household, taking them, you go with them to a university, you drop them there, and then while they're supposed to be thinking about academics and on all of that, they think about, I wonder what my brother is eating, I wonder if my mom took her pills, I wonder so and so, and all of those things, and you actually realize, hold up a bit, what are we doing here? We're actually not even creating an environment where they can grow, they can prosper. We're just creating another problem where they're gonna fail. So
added pressure.
Added pressure, exactly. So what's very important, as soon as they go into grade 12, career guidance is very important. Very, very important. As soon as they go into grade 12, we have, they want to be astronauts, they want to be scientists, which is fantastic. But we need to sit them down, follow a doctor, follow a news reporter, follow a radio presenter. Is this really what you want to do?
Shadow them for a day.
Shadow them for a day. We partner with organizations that take them and let them work for a day and get the reality of what it is that they want to do. So that as soon as they go into university, they know that, listen, whatever happens, this is what I want to do. I've seen it. I've seen real. I haven't seen it on a person going with a nice car or a nice house. I've seen what they actually do. That's how we bridge the gap, the reality of those things that they want to do versus like a dream and nothing behind that.
You know, on TV actually just sells you the dream that you want to be a radio presenter.
Yes.
You think it's so easy. You just go there and they talk. You don't actually understand the research that goes behind all the content and the reason that has to be played in a particular slot and all that thing.
The talking.
It's
all
real.
of the personality as well. So it's all of those things where we try to expose them to as many opportunities as possible. Some of them are still stuck with those traditional careers, and we try to now make them see that there's life, there's more. If you want to go to London, you can go to London. If you want to go to the US, we're overseas. Right now, we're studying in Savannah, fashion design. In the United States, it's not impossible.
Wow.
It's
Broaden
not.
your horizons,
Absolutely.
But with Ubuntu, I just want to know what makes it particularly different from any other, foundation.
I think it's all in how we look at development. What is development? There's the sort of questions everyone wants to do good, and it's such a beautiful thing that we want this world to change. But what are we actually doing about it? It all starts with exactly that. What is development? So when we first started, yes, we thought development was one word, was one aspect. We were handing out condoms, we were handing out textbooks, and we thought that was enough. That's not enough. It goes back to that holistic approach. When you're saying we're raising kids, we're gonna raise these kids the same way that any other child born anywhere else is raised. We're gonna afford them the very same opportunities.
And dignity.
Absolutely perfect. The same dignity. That their birthplace should not, at any cost, determine their future. And that's what makes us different. Is that we take another look at development, the holistic approach. Everything that you need to prosper, we give it to you.
Wow. You're so passionate about what you do, and I can imagine you are probably the happiest person because a lot of us have actually been stuck in a job where you don't want to be stuck in. But for you, is it surreal that you actually get to do what you ultimately want to do and work with kids that you actually look at and you think to yourself, you know what, this was me once upon a time?
I'll tell you a story, and I'm praying to God that I don't cry. So as I told you earlier on, I worked for a corporate and then I came back. And when I look at them, again, I see me. There was one particular story that will stay with me forever. I remember they were going on a trip, and I was preparing them because they were going to meet international guys. So I asked them, listen, okay, bring something that means a lot to you, and you have to explain now why does this thing, or even this person mean is so important to you. So the most shy guy in the room comes to me with a t-shirt. It's a full room. They all start giggling, and I must admit, I was also like, oh my word, what is this guy doing? So he stands up, he's very shy, he doesn't speak a lot, but when he speaks, he commands the respect, and he's very wise. So he comes up with this almost torn shirt, small, and I'm like, Sina, what do you have? And he says, Sissin, you said we must bring something important. So I want to tell you a story behind the shirt, very briefly. He says, the shirt is about 6 years old. My grandmother died a couple of years ago, and everyone else, what's in a funeral, everyone gets new clothes. And my cousin had new clothes and I didn't. And my mom I was fine, but my mom was so worried that she went to borrow imali to buy me the shirt. It means so much to me because it symbolizes the sacrifice that my mom made to buy me the shirt. And what got to me is the way I said, I want to keep it so that my children and their children can wear it. And I was like, how can such a shirt mean so much to someone? And I had to go back and evaluate what was important to me and what I was doing and what impact I was bringing on the table and what was I saying to these kids. And so to just answer my question, it feels amazing that they see me and they start smiling and they call me Sisi, and to some degree it feels weird because I'm thinking I'm only a couple of years older than them, and the responsibility that I didn't want at first that they give me, but it's a responsibility that I accept, that my story is gonna symbolize what the next generation is gonna be, and it's an opportunity, and I take it with both hands, and I don't take it lightly, really. I know.
You almost got
that
me
was
crying.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about that. But do hit us up on Facebook or on Twitter with any of your comments or questions that you want to ask Nozi here in studio. I'll say Nozi because need more necessarily. Maybe I'm a little older. So that's the thing. 36 minutes after the hour of 6 p.m. I'm going to play you two of her favorite songs. Just by the way, you know how we do it every single week. We let our guests choose two of their favorite songs. And the first one I'm going to play for you is John Legend, You and I, chosen by her. You'll find out the next 1 minute, please. Hope you guys do enjoy. Let's go.
You're listening to Madibaz Radio, opening up the waves for you to be heard.
Yes, it's nearly 6:45, and we are still here with Nozi Girl. We just played your songs for your jams.
Oh my word.
Oh, pretty dark though. pretty dark songs, right?
No, but let me tell you this. I particularly like John Legend because it's all about self-esteem and how women should feel, and that's why I like it. I work with girls.
I hope he's gonna, implement every single thing he said in that song because his wife is now pregnant.
Yes,
so
yes.
boo.
I hope so. So that's why I like the song. Telling women that they are beautiful the way they are. And True Color is just about the beauty, about the world. And
I feel like somebody should actually do a new rendition of that song.
Oh, they have. Glee has.
Glee has?
Yeah, many people have. It's beautiful.
Because that one has just stuck around.
It's beautiful. I love it. I really
Still
do.
beautiful, nevertheless. Top stories though. Sinzo Mayuwa is still trending. Ooh, and NMMU is trending too. Shout out, people. We saw a lot of students right here at South Campus holding it down for Fees Must Fall, and it seems like we have come to a consensus. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's actually been supporting this movement because it's all about what we're actually talking about today, which is Ubuntu, of course, and yeah, just education as a whole and getting funding, especially those that are from disadvantaged backgrounds. But Nozi, I just want to get to know you just a little more. Though, because I can imagine, of course, this is what you are doing now. You love your job.
Yes.
I can tell. But you are a motivational speaker of some sort, and of course, you do love giving back to community. So, what's next for Nozi in the next 5 years?
5 years, international environment. It's all in the name of, as I said. Now we're thinking global. We're thinking about how we're impacting this world, what legacy are we leaving behind. I've always been someone like that. How do I want people to remember me? What am I leaving behind? What will people say about me? Will they remember my name? So I'm a motivational speaker as well, using my story as a message of hope. That here I am. All of these things, what they say about me, it still feels unreal.
Mom and Dad must be proud though.
Mom is proud.
Proud.
I was raised by a single mom. She's
shout out to you, mommy.
Yes, she's very proud, and growing up in Queenstown, she never thought, for goodness sake, that any of her kids anyone in a family will become a graduate. Now look at me, when you have those moments where she just looks at you and she just says, I'm very proud, and that's enough. So next couple of years, entering the international environment and taking Ubuntu global. That's my aim. That's my aim.
Yeah, to every student that is listening right now, and I can imagine don't necessarily have the funding that you had. What could you possibly say to them, just to motivate them and say,
guys, this is the thing. I could say a million things, but what's very important when I talk to people is that you must know yourself. When all the noise has faded away, when you're alone, who are you? What is your purpose? Being at university, is that your purpose? Do you want to be here? What do you want to achieve? And that's what's very important. And we often preach this, but it's so real that everything that is worth it in life doesn't come easy. It has never, trust me, I know. It hasn't come easy. I've cried, I have screamed, and I thought to myself, what am I doing? Why do I always have to work hard? But one advice is be the one person that you know works so hard, and it's gonna pay off. It's going to pay off. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it's gonna pay off, trust me. I'm a testimony of it, where I thought to myself, I don't know even what I'm doing, but I'm just doing it. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, okay, I was being prepared for this. Where I'm at now, as I said to you, the corporate gig that I did for 4 years, I was like, I don't know, what am I doing? But looking at it now and where I'm at, the people that I engage with, the people that I speak to, I don't think I would have been ready if I did not go through that. So everything, embrace every opportunity that comes your way. Learn as much as you can. That's very important. I'll just say that really.
Okay, so you heard it from her. Where can people catch you on social media if they want to go to you personally?
Facebook, Nozi Qamngana, actually all social networks, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Nozi Qamngana, and anyone has a question, wants
You keep it very professional though, because you don't have like those, pumped up names.
I used to call myself Lady Q when I was presenting.
Really?
Oh, my word.
You got what?
Lady Q, because my surname was Qamngana. So I also wanted. Oh, actually it was Nozi Q, and I'm like, oh my word. But I know, well, Nozi, this.
I remain your favorite letter.
No, Nozi Qamngana, and that's it. Thank you. I figured after a while, I'm like, okay, Nozi, you're not those people that have like really nice names. So just stick to Nozi.
I like Nozi, it works. Okay.
Yeah, Nozi Bele, so everyone calls me.
Oh, that's your full name.
That's my full name, Nozi Bele.
Wow, okay, you know something? I've been friends with this girl for how long?
No.
On Facebook, I've been like friends with her.
No, that's because each one, like everyone knows me, so knows, but Nozi Bele Qamngana.
Okay, so you heard it right here. If you want to get in touch with her, it is Nozi Qamngana on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get hold of her. And I look forward to you going all the way to all the best. Okay. Shut it down on them, because I know a lot of people do still have those misconceptions of South Africa and us being a third world country, and that. But I know you're gonna do best.
I will. I'll try my best. I'll try to represent.
And please tell them that you know what, we people too. Most importantly, we are people. We reason the same way. We might go to university with these monkeys all over the place, but hey, it's just part of it.
But just lastly, what I appreciate is, despite all of that, what they know for a fact is Ubuntu Education and our humanity, our love. They despite everything, they know that we're a continent of love, of humanity. We embrace each other. Whether we're crying, we're laughing, we're still together. And that's what I enjoy about all of this.
52 minutes after 6 p.m. I'm gonna get out of here. It's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Nozi, for coming through to Uptown Living. Flick, hooray. Everybody having an awesome week. If you want to catch me, of course, catch me on Saturday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. It's the hit list. Your favorite letter Q and Cream Double Pan. Otherwise, same time, same place next week. Okay, Uptown Living, where I'll be talking with another very special guest, as per usual, giving you the new, of course. But don't forget those pictures. Go see you.
Absolutely, I got you.
I'm gonna play a song and just sign out. It is a Gushesha featuring Okay Mama Kukan. Only because we filling up the dome. That's what's good. Are you filling up the dome? 31st of October. All roads lead to the dome. It's going down. Okay, everybody have an awesome week and do study.
Yes, study. Work hard.
Thank you, everybody. It's been great. Good night.
Bye.
You're listening to Madibaz Radio, opening up the waves for you to be heard.